Hello everyone, this is Here's Trivia, and today we're starting a brand new Total War Pharaohs Let's Play, and in particular we're playing the new Dynasty update, where the game expanded quite a bit. So we'll talk about what changed and what we're going to play. We're going to be playing as the Babylon. They're one of the two major factions added in the update for the Mesopotamia region. The Geans also added with two factions. You can play as Priam of Troy or Agamemnon of Greece or Mycenae. And there are also tons of minor factions spread across the map. Some very familiar faction, actually. Ithaca, Odyssey. Basically, they combine a lot of Troy with Pharaoh to make this Bronze Age game that they're calling Dynasties right now. We're going to be playing as major factions. Minor factions share some of the units from major rosters. They don't have fleshed out mechanics, but they give you a good variety of start. Think of it as sort of the modded gameplay that a lot of players enjoy for older Total War titles, where you unlock minor factions that you can play. And it works really well, in my opinion, for Pharaoh in particular, because there is regional recruitment. So you can conquer regions and have sort of unique troops from those regions that you can recruit, in addition to the few units you grab from major factions as sort of your quote-unquote faction unique unit. You don't have buildings that are unique, for example, so those things you might miss out on, and you don't have mechanics such as, it used to be called the Shimsu Horde. It's the command mechanic. We'll talk about what changed, because it basically reduced a lot of the Egyptian themed mechanics, because it's not really a Pharaoh game anymore. It's more of a Bronze Age game. As you can see, the map has greatly expanded behind us. It's one of the biggest Total War maps in the franchise. A lot of players like volume and quantity. Not myself particularly. It just feels like, you know, you add a lot of volume, but if you don't change the gameplay as much, it doesn't really change your experience. You get a variety of start, maybe it adds a little bit of replayability, but the formula for Total War game has always been sort of develop at the beginning on the campaign map, recruit an army, and you fight, and you expand out, rinse and repeat. So that formula is still the same. So the key update, in my opinion, is more of changes to sort of some of the campaign management. We now have families. There's now death of old age. You can have a little bit of political marriage. There has always been a vassal system, which worked pretty well within the same culture, especially if you were playing as the Hittites or back then when the game first launched. We'll look at it as we hop in. We'll be playing as Adad Shuma Usur, the Protector. We are...
The people have chosen me.
Oh, that's it. Okay, we are in Babylon, and we are going to be preserving Babylon's legacy. Each of the region that were added has two new sort of mechanics that works with the region. What is it called? Ancient Legacies, I believe. And for us, obviously, as the Babylon, we are going to be able to use Hammurabi's Law and kind of create our own faction-wide bonuses with that mechanic. And that should be quite interesting. We're also focused on building tall. We have unique faction buildings that kind of play into that. We'll take a look at these once we hop into game. For faction unique unit, we have a mix of what's called the Suluru units. Think of them as sort of these cheap end spam units. They have slightly lower stats, but they also have more advanced unit that are taskmasters. So if we look at one of their noble chariots, for example, we can come down here and see that they have taskmasters. And for all Sulu units nearby, we'll give them 10 points of morale, 5 points of melee defense, and 5 points of melee attack to kind of make up for the lack of stat that they have. And I think this is an interesting take. They're also specialized, a lot of the units are specialized for defense. They fight stronger when they're inside a settlement. I believe this unit might have that too. Urban warriors, there you go. You can see they're faster, slightly higher melee defense, slightly higher melee attack. And for chariot units, I really hope they fix the pathfinding, because that was one of my major issues, especially inside cities. But we'll learn as we play the game. Lethality is one of the biggest change, in my opinion, to the battle gameplay mechanic. essentially units, especially more elite unit, will have a set chance of killing a target outright. And if you look at the actual damage figure for this bow unit in particular, you have 12% lethality. You can tweak the value and turn it off in the game settings. We'll be playing as default setting for this first experience. There is currently an issue with lethality, particularly against generals, in that generals are not protected from the usual your bodyguard has to drop below 40% before your faction leader or the general gets killed. Lethality seems to bypass that, and if a stray arrow finds your faction leader early on in a fight, they will die. So be careful about that. It also makes it quite strong for players who've been playing Total War game way back, Shogun 2 days, and before that. We used to not have a health bar. In this case, total health of 10,920. What does that mean? Well, there's 21 entities in this one unit, so divide that by 21, and you sort of have the per model or per entity health. And then as they do battle, they get chipped health until they die. Back then, the health bar was, if it's a 21 unit, group, the health bar is 21. Each health is 1 unit. So if you get hit or you don't get hit, you're just dead. And that was basically lethality. And in this case, is added on, sort of a compromise. You still have the traditional damage, but there's this now new chance for the more elite unit with certain weapon type, like say the axe would have higher lethality than a club, to instantly kill their enemy. And some players are learning that they like it, some players are learning that they don't like it. It's a preference thing. I think there is a good middle ground. It might make range a bit too strong, which was the case in games like Shogun 2. We'll see how they balance it, but right now we're still on the launch patch of Dynasties, and we'll see how it plays as is. We'll be playing this on Legendary difficulty, which puts a veteran. You can change a lot of things in this game. Customization is really wild. You can change sort of the turn timers for those who have watched us play the game back when it was just Pharaoh. You might remember things like Shemsu Hor, which is the start of the new year. That's sort of an Egyptian culture mechanic. And because there were so many new cultures added based on this update, they took that away. And instead of a 6-turn year, by default, I believe it's now changed to a 3-turn year. And that's fine. You can still change it back to 6. You can make it 12, depending on how fast you want your leaders to age and die off. You can still have immortal faction leaders, but that kind of takes away from certain court mechanics where you can assassinate someone else. You then technically can't remove them, even though you quote-unquote assassinated them with a plot. So things like that you can sort of play around. We'll be just playing on default for our first experience, and let's hop into game.
The city of Babylon, a gem coveted by all throughout its glorious history. Its leader, Adad Shuma Usur, a noble king determined to restore his kingdom to its former splendor, will face daunting obstacles on his way. Relentless Elamite raids press on the Babylonian borders, eyeing the kingdom and its riches with greed. They dream of their own empire. Should their attempt at conquest succeed, they would become a threat to all. Assyrian influence adds to Babylon's precarious situation. The rival empire has no intention of surrendering and seeks to regain its lost lands. Beyond Assyria, the Hittite Empire also looks in Babylon's direction. Mighty Hittite kings have long desired the wealth and treasures of the city. They quietly prepare to launch a war campaign. Lastly, the Canaanite tribes south of Hatti are easily overlooked. But if they reach the Euphrates River, they may wreak havoc across the lands of Sumer and Akkad. The land will not be merciful to the aspiring Babylonian king. He must be cunning in both diplomacy and battle, placating and conquering his numerous foes as the situation best dictates.
Alrighty, A faction summary here. We have cheap and numerous Sululu units. They're good at settlement defense, the urban warriors. They're weak and expendable. Are they actually given the expendable trait, or are they just cheap? Not sure. We'll take a look. We have bigger buildings with more bonuses. Favor going tall. Uses fewer building slots. It seems to combine certain building effects together. Some of the unique building that we have. But they are expensive to build. The command or sort of faction mechanic we have will give us additional recruitment slots. And if we save it for a cooldown, used to be during the cycle of the year, 6-turn year, if you waited until Shimsu Horde, the start of the year, to use your command, you get a special effect. Now that Shimsu Horde is removed and also turn for a year can change depending on how you set the game, what they did with the command is that there is a base command, which is like before, use it whenever. And once you use it, we get the additional recruitment slot. And then there's one that you wait for cooldowns now. So instead of being like, say, once every year on that turn, you can kind of see the cooldown, use it. And in this case, we'll get special recruitment of the Sululu units so that we can recruit them sort of instantly. And then it'll go on cooldown, wait until that cycle goes away before you can use either commands again. Our court action, we have a unique court action that allows us to foil plots that are targeting sort of our target. In this case, let's say it's us. We basically will use this royal invictive on ourselves, and it will remove all plots that's currently against us. And for each plot that we foil, we'll gain additional court action, but it will drop the diplomatic relations with the faction that was plotting against you, which in my opinion doesn't really hurt that much. If they're plotting against you already, they probably don't like you. The key concept of the game is not something that's sort of faction unique. Basically tell us what Outpost does, what god do we start out with, dynamic weathers, the new dynasty system with the family, ancient legacy of the Mesopotamian region, Hammurabi's lawmaker, that's sort of the Babylon one. And then there's another one that you can follow if you're playing the Saurians, or we can follow that one too, but it's just recommending us to do the Hammurabi's, kind of plays into our specialty of building tall and just focusing on faction building. We also have some royal traditions, very similar to previous for those who played Pharaoh before. It's been a while since we played, so it will take me some time to get used to it. Royal Decree tree looks the same structurally, but I think it's going to be slightly different on a few of these reforms between different cultures, or at least I hope so. I think we get early happiness. I'm not going to take a look at everything right now. Extra god dedication slot. It's always been very good. Replenishment, experience. We might come grab this, but I think we start with some happiness just to manage the settlements that we have. Legitimacy can now be sold, which is pretty nice because you definitely need it to try to hit the king position in court, but afterwards it become quite useless. Now we can actually sell that, which is very nice. I'm just wondering why this one's glowing. Right, this one's like glowing gold. I guess we start with this one, right? It doesn't have a turn on the bottom. We get a free royal decree. Okay, so that's settled. Let's look at our holdings. We start out with 2 pieces of territory. A 1 settlement province that has Babylon. 10 slot city. So very massive. I bet it's a cultural center as well. So like pillar civilization. And then we have a county that's focused on producing, looks like food. It's fully built. A dice tavern. Oh, administrative burden is back in the game. I forgot about that. They added the mechanic from Troy back. It's an anti-snowball mechanic, similar to supply lines for those who played Warhammer. Also similar to corruption for those who play Three Kingdom. Essentially, the bigger you get, in this case for administration, it's related to the number of holdings you have, the number of armies you have, depending on certain buildings, like this one +2. I wonder where they keep track of it. Oh, right here, administration. When do we get the price jump is the question. Right now it looks like at 4 it doesn't really affect any of our production. But as this build up, it will eat into your income. Alright, kind of want to see what options we have. Dice Tavern. At high influence, more happiness, more growth. Right now it's influence and happiness only. I don't know if we want to keep this building, to be honest. Maybe some early growth is pretty good. Military support gives us an increased garrison. Some very good archer units. These are really good units, actually. Experience per turn, happiness, influence, siege, holdout time. That's a pretty good mixed bag for defensive settlement. I actually quite like it. Recruitment buildings, nothing new here. I guess we should kind of learn where we can recruit our units of whichever type and see where to efficiently build these, whether in counties or in the main settlement. The 2 resource buildings they already built, so basically that's our customization. Happiness, -4. That's why we started the royal decree with a happiness 1. I'm actually thinking maybe we don't want this. We do a tear down and we switch either to some sort of recruitment building so that we get early recruitment. Okay, so our deity focuses on food. Double food settlement with the main settlement being a stone quarry. So I guess this could be good. Alright, and then we have enough population or idle workforce to upgrade this if we want. I think we should. Increases the garrison. How much stone do we start out with? 1,500. So looks like capturing would be on our list. Oh man, the map is massive. Okay, we can zoom. That's good. This would be the edge of the map, I believe. Yeah. So we could definitely target this.
The future belongs to us.
And the other piece is even closer. Same faction. So we have to beat up whoever we're at war with early on. Looks like over here. They have 2 pieces. Where's the other piece? Beyond our vision, it seems. Looking at where the text is going for the province, I'm guessing it's over here. But since we are, you know, Tigris and Euphrates, a lot of river access to defend. That outpost is not constructed, but we have a few outposts. Let's take a look. The shrine, so we have a shrine, and interacting this will give us the movement. That's not bad. I like that one. Movement on land plus 10%, legitimacy plus 5, refund 50. Oh, so both refund movement. This one will just be the shrine again. 10% resources. Right, the movement one's always there. Gaining morale is the difference. And then the prayer effect, which we can take a look at the deity page. Desert attrition. I don't think we have that much desert in this case. Legitimacy. Ooh, 3 different military. Chance for a random unit to join the outpost garrison. 30%. The moment we build it, or refugee unit will reinforce all battles in a region. Huh. Increases our food upkeep. This is an interesting building, actually. Seems to be like a defensive little fort that will have a chance to reinforce the main settlement when it's under attack. The outpost. 3 units in the garrison. And then this typical fort where you can kind of hold units and exchange units. Okay. So I guess we have slightly more choices than before. We have the whole province, so we get a commandment. Let's see. Babylonian builders. Cheaper construction's definitely pretty good. Early growth. Reduced recruitment slot. Okay, hurts us getting our first army together. Boost food. Babylon's a food province.
To be a ruler
Good to
is
know.
a heavy burden.
Reduce recruitment, reduce upkeep, drop happiness, drop growth. Okay, force the gross but drop the food. Leaning towards either the cheaper building with happiness boosts and workforce growth. All things we want. We have to dip the recruitment
They
slot.
call me King of Babylon.
So
and
we
that
go
is
from
who
2
I
to
am.
1. But we can only get Arcadian farmers. So Arcadian's going to be... or yeah, Akkadian? Akkadian's going to be the regional troop for us here. I'm actually curious about the whole roster. We should take a look at that later. Wonder if we get away with it if we can use our command to get units instead.
I will keep the temple offerings flowing.
Alright, just off my instinct, I think we go with that. We start with a Grand Temple. Okay, so upkeep drops when we're in the province. Production goes. That's pretty good. Additional favor. Okay, so we have 3 resource buildings, one of which is a wood port constructed already. Okay, I like that. I think we will definitely build that. Farms on Tigris and Euphrates gets the food income. Okay, we are gonna have to do 22 stone, pretty much all our wood.
Harvests are
worker
plentiful.
housing.
People are happy.
Public garden. Gold income. Yeah, first time playing the faction, definitely take some time to see what we want here. It's 1 turn construction on these, so like the 10%... Should we wait? That's the other question. Because this takes a turn to kick in. If I really want the 10% construction cost, I should wait a turn.
About as much.
We have
Your
2 invading
heartless
armies.
cause revolts me. You want me? Well, tough.
Alright, before we jump into the fight, it's probably best to do diplomacy first. There's new UI. Legitimacy support. This is trading legitimacy. Finding a marriage. We didn't take a look at our family yet. Basically, we need to know who likes us.
For Hati.
And the answer is no one.
Everybody has their duty.
And we're only at 1 war. Checking out the new legitimacy. So the Mesopotamian, they're part of the same royal tradition, so we can trade legitimacy with them because we're in the same competition for being a king. It depends on if we have family or not. That's our legitimacy. Okay. So factions with a female. Okay, very interesting. Do we get to see our ruling family here? Okay, so we are married. We're 32. Eligibility. Middle age, inexperienced general, relative. Okay, so points for like how attractive we are as a suitor. She loves family. She's a noble woman and middle-aged. So this is basically our heir. We have a 14-year-old daughter. Never married +3. We have an 11-year-old son. Feels like she's probably old enough to get married. Yeah, if we have a deceased member, it'd be nice to see them. Little control panel there. He's 11. Of age. When are you of age? 14 is not of age. A little shocked. Okay, so basically not a lot of diplomacy to do. And we're basically going to start the fight. Our command, hold on. Ooh, new little icon for character details. We have a spear, nothing to change into, spear and shield, and keys of divine wisdom. +3 workforce growth in the province, available to the king. Nothing else. Oh, curious about our titles. Grant our units ambush. We lose speed, become unspottable, and gain stock for 60 seconds. Only thing we have right now, that's fine. Let's see what some of the endgame ones are. Reduce enemy movement, increase influence. Not so impressive. Way higher upkeep of expensive unit, but cheap low tier unit. Lord of Rabble. One who serves men. So cheap unit gains post-battle replenishment +3. Wow, that could actually be really good, but not for him. I think if we have like a secondary general that we want to build towards Lord of Rabble and just spam like Saluter units and then give them 30% replenishment and 30% experience, that could be quite good. Units always start fresh. We march farther and we full speed farther at sea, and we also start fresh even if we end up on march and full speed. That's actually pretty good. So it seems like we might be focusing on fortitude and presence as our main thing. +4 melee defense when fighting our own territory, 666. Okay, we could probably aim for that. Just want to get a good idea of what we are going to end up getting. That seems pretty good as well, especially we're going for 1313. That's going to be on the way. Rating in. Okay, so those look good. Losing replenishment, we don't want it. It's also Ardor, which is the one that we're not going to be building up. +1 recruitment slot, dropping growth. I mean, if we're, you know, moving and expanding and not in our own territory, this doesn't really hurt us. But then again, we wouldn't be recruiting. Okay, I think we just get this first. Get our first 3 points into fortitude. Pick this up. Rank. And then switch this one off, basically. Our favored or predisposed to getting barbaric if we raid and sack. Where buildings are being constructed. So we're going to end up being cultured, I'm pretty sure. Which reduces construction costs. He's going to be a stay-at-home defensive general. I think that's how we're going to play it. Alright, let's start a fight.
Perish, you fool!
We are very favored against the Tingu. Basically a lot of regional troops. Farmers. They have a bonus against shield. Interesting. Well, their sickle can kind of hook your shield. I guess it's considered an axe unit. Charge bonus damage. Armor piercing only 5, mostly base damage, but they have a bonus. It's only a 2-point bonus against shield. They have melee lethality of 5%. I guess it's because of the axe. 35% on the javelin. Oh my god. Stay away from this. We're keeping our general really, really far away from this unit. And they have 3 of these. I can see a happy accident just where we march our general into them and then lose our general on turn 1. Steadfast. 10% melee lethality on the 2 militia unit they have here. Their shield blocks 30%. So these guys only have 100 range and 5 ammo. We're just gonna outshoot them, I think. The general has 5% melee lethality. Let's take a look at our own unit. We have a bow chariot, which should be really, really good in terms of mobility. There are cavalry units introduced, especially with the Saurians, which is kind of our neighbor. We will not be having cavalry. I mean, it's ahistorical as it is. They only gave it to a select few factions. 10% lethality on these bows. We outrange their javelin, which is good. Lots of ammos. We'll be microing them quite a bit. Let's see. Poor defense archers. Don't really care about defense. Good range. 10% lethality. We'll be using them to shoot a sapper. A sapper? So they have slings and They replenish their ammo mid-battle. What? And that of a nearby ally? What do they have? Okay, so there's now direct shot, which is you can aim your shot flat and it does more damage. And you can see the range lethality goes up to 18%. Deal heavy damage to city walls. Allows you, so they're like a siege weapon. Whistling shot for demoralizes the enemy. Well, that is interesting, but drops the range lethality quite a bit. A mixed shot means you shoot whatever arch you can get. That's a default setting, I'm pretty sure. They can fire while moving. They ignore a portion of enemy's armor when calculating lethality chance. What is this thing? This is a monster. The underdog. If they're in melee and there's more than 2 enemies, or fewer than 2 enemy units in range. Oh, that's disabled. Okay. But the effect of 2 maximum enemies feels weird. So basically you're surrounded by more than 2, but you can only debuff 2. Affects enemies. I feel like this description's wrong. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to say if you're in melee and there's more than 2 enemies around you, then you get a bonus, right? 10 points morale, 3 points melee defense, 3-point melee attack. But like the affects enemies max 2 feels weird. And it also counts as a taskmaster unit. It has the retreat stance where you gain 6 points of melee defense, start walking back slowly and organized. I'm trying to find the replenishing ammo one. Oh, they have a shield wall formation. 25 points to parry. Oh, they have a huge... They have 100% range block chance. What are these guys? Can we get more of them? Oh, replenish ammo specialist. 2 seconds, 20-second cooldown, and it can be used 3 times. Anyone within 10 casting range has a missile weapon, has it below the maximum, will replenish for 2 seconds. How many ammo do we get back during the 2 seconds? It doesn't say. We'll test that out. That also seems very broken. That just feels like a very broken unit overall. Our melee lethality, 10% on our levies. Armored sword, 10%. General with the spear, 5%. Spear, 14% two-handed spear. Bonus against large, 22 bonus against large. So they counter chariots and I guess cavalry in this case. Lightly armored. They're one of our salute units. Okay, so interesting roster. Let's fight it and see how it goes. Yeah, we're not going to get much done in episode 1. Just got to get used to the new changes and checking out the new faction as it is. But it seems very interesting. A lot of different abilities with the battles in the game. That has always been sort of a strong point for Pharaoh. Thunderstorm. I don't want anything to kind of mess up with range, given that we can reload ammo. One more try. Maybe battle will be over before it changes. You know, 60-minute battle timers. Let's see what we can do here. Well, they have new buttons here too. That's new. Their range is on this side and this side. We're gonna use our chariots to run around.
Babylon will be better.
That looks like it's gonna become mud once it rains. Right now, everything's fine. If I go direct, how much range do I lose? Oh, quite a lot. 135 right now on mixed. I guess basically if we walk up to like their melee, then we would use that. Okay, only 45 per group. That makes it a lot more fair because they look like stat monsters. How much are their melee stats? Oh, okay. Their melee stats are fine, but their melee attack is quite low. So their hit rate's not good. What's their charge? But I guess if we charge into it, we can add a little bit to the melee attack. The bonus against shield is also added against melee attack. So I guess they're good against shield, in particular, charging into them. High lethality. They have good melee defense. Really high range. Fun unit. We'll use this to pick on them. We'll probably favor one side, and the new vision game is also kind of interesting. There's not enough trees here to kind of showcase that, unless we back up all the way here. I guess we could, just to give our chariots more time to play around. They're shielded, but almost don't want them to be
Strike with precision.
in danger here. Our two, they can be hiding here. And then we'll just micro this for a little bit. And also see how chariots move. I mean, one or two chariots out in the open, it was kiting fine, especially in the desert back in the day.
Drive us onwards.
I remember playing Tasseret, and her chariots were quite good. The vision game is interesting. Like, trees and stuff blocked pretty fully. There's also like scouting units with, you know, better visibility in the game introduced for lower tier units.
Chariots.
I want to get behind them almost, or have them chase me. Both options are fine. I don't want the javelins to open up on me. So right now, I probably want to get behind them first. Yeah, I don't want them to open up on me. I outranged them, but still, if we don't micro well, we could get in trouble.
Get the horses pulling.
Fire boys? We probably have to turn around. Well, they're not firing. Oh, there we go.
Roll onwards. Drive us onwards. Chariots into place. Get the horses pulling. Wheels turning. Roll onwards.
They have a shield.
Their rangers could fire on us.
No, they can't.
Drive us onwards. Chariots into place. Get the horses pulling. Wheels turning. And the volley. Roll onwards.
I don't really want to guide them over to our place right now.
Drive us onwards. Chariots into place.
We still have plenty of ammo.
Get the horses pulling.
But we risk running into thunder. Ooh.
Wheels turning. Roll onwards. Drive us onwards.
I think we landed maybe like 1 or 2 kills so far.
Let's fly. Chariots into place.
Let's see.
Get the horses pulling.
Trying to see what's shown. Banner shown, firing arc.
Wheels turning. Roll onwards. Drive us onwards. Chariots into place. Get the horses
I'm
pulling.
trying to see if I can pull up the stat banner. Do all elements. It still doesn't have that.
Wheels turning. Roll onwards.
I do want hide foliage. Oh, they only sent a detachment over. Okay, then follow me
Chariots into place.
into our little trap here.
Get the horses pulling.
So we don't even see the selected. Yeah, this is fine.
Wheels turning. Roll onwards. Archer.
Okay, since they're kind of far away, we're gonna go test
As
direct
the
shot.
gods will. Drive us onwards.
At the farmers.
Aim and fire. Put their eyes out.
They have the shield, I think.
Chariots into place.
Just basically a drive-by.
Shoot now. Get the horses pulling.
Ah, here
Wheels
comes our
turning.
other range
Roll
units.
onwards. Drive us onwards.
The gods are with me.
Spearmen.
Let's see if we can
Chariots into
divide them up
place. Get
and
the
not let
horses
them join
pulling.
this group. And if they're really not paying attention here,
Strike them
we
down.
want to wipe out their javelin units before they get a chance to shoot us. Okay, so
We'll
we
riddle
overwhelmed
them with
that.
arrows.
Ooh, that is a good charge. Get
Roll
through.
onwards. Look there. Time
Don't
to
let them
reload.
fire at us.
Drive us onwards.
How does
Chariots into
lethality work?
place.
I think lethality is broken against chariots,
Get the
though.
horses
We only have
moving.
21 units. If it triggers,
Wheels
it's like a
turning.
massive loss for us.
Roll onwards. Drive us
Oh yeah,
onwards.
it's actually pretty crushing against us.
Chariots into place.
Anything could be hiding in here.
Embrace
Pull them
your
out.
fury.
Play! Arrows of the east.
Yeah, we should turn off skirmish mode. We want to overwhelm them.
Face my wrath. Clear and resolute.
Time to move. Get the horses pulling.
Yeah, I think lethality is super broken against
Right
chariots.
before us. Victory beckons. Face my wrath. We have them on the run.
Onwards.
The gods guide us.
Slingers attack!
Fight them.
Groomed for success!
Okay, I need to get a unit on top of that.
Fear me.
Bury them in stone! Send them stones!
Yeah, high entity health means nothing when you have lethality like that. A low entity unit actually becomes really bad.
Tremble before us.
Ever enduring!
Alright, keep him busy, keep him busy.
Bludgeon them!
Okay, make sure they don't bounce back. Just full chase forever, and then you guys switch targets to that. Someone switch
Honor
target.
the gods.
Where's our archer?
Step by step.
Walked a little bit too far.
Take their heads.
Swing at them!
On the move.
Okay, so we are at... How do I see the actual ammo count for the, if I can't see the stat bar?
Step by step!
I mean,
Groomed for success.
there we go, there we go, there we go.
Fight with pride!
So we're at 14.
Nothing can stop us.
Honor the gods!
It just goes back to, like, went back by 5.
Fight
That's
with pride.
pretty substantial.
How could it end like this?
Massive loss on the chariot. But I feel like maybe chariot's just not good. I mean, killed 51 units, but we're just so vulnerable to anything range that outranges it. Maybe having one just to kind of break their formation up like what we did earlier here.
Bask in our shared triumph, men.
We'll be taking food
I
here.
get things done.
Yeah, we'll take the economy boost.
They call me King of Babylon, and that is who I am.
We have ranked up. Yeah, our first 3 points are all going to go into that. No items post that battle.
I am a Kassite.
At least it's bouncing back pretty fast.
So be it. Fight!
3 archer unit, 3 farmer units. General is a spear. We probably want our melee infantry with the shield to actually tank the enemy range, and then the chariot comes in afterwards, plow into them. Yeah, as long as the first weather is fine, it's not going to last long enough to get to the second weather. We are... They're here, pretty sure.
Arrows knocked! Primed for battle!
Get the horses pulling!
Time to move! In that direction!
Time to move!
I mean, we're in tall
Step by
grass.
step.
Gods bless our bows! Time to move!
Set new destination!
Drive us onwards!
I mean, the charge was initially pretty good, but
Roll onwards!
once they got shot by the javelins, 35% lethality on javelins, that's pretty much why they got destroyed.
Chariots into place!
Right, if you think about it that way, there's like, well, at least 60, 70, 90 units in a javelin. Maybe yeah, I think 90 units, 90 little javelins being thrown at you, and then 1 in 3 kills you just outright.
Killing them is a blessing for Assyria!
Victory beckons!
They're being very patient. They don't know they're being outranged. Here, go outrange them.
Stones!
Strike with precision!
Time to move!
Step by step!
On we go! Get the horses pulling! Drive us
They're gonna be super
onwards.
slow in the forest, but that's fine.
Prime for battle!
Blades!
On we go!
On the move!
Tear through them! Bludgeon them! On the move!
Shift men!
Roll onwards!
Nothing can stop us!
The gods guide us!
Sling the rubble!
I mean, if they don't move and they just stand there,
Into place. Wheels turning!
and it's just free hits. Well, oh, here comes the sound.
Get the horses
Right,
pulling!
they're trying to get to
Drive
us,
onwards!
but it's only them.
Bury them in
Then we can probably just trigger their skirmish mode by charging into them.
the gods guide
Alright, I don't want to exchange shots with archers who has
Embrace
better
your fury!
lethality than us.
We won't miss!
Rend their flesh! Spearmen! Take their heads!
And then they turn around and shoot us.
I see our enemies!
But I think for archers only about 10% lethality.
Time to meet our foes!
Groomed for success!
Spearmen!
Flank back. Take this.
Strike them down!
Marksman!
Onwards!
They can fight.
No hesitation! Hack and slash!
Advance
And then
with
we'll
honor.
just come flank. There's just a bunch of
Get
farmers
ready.
here.
Break them! Ashur cannot save you! Ever enduring!
Servant of Marduk, king of Babylon.
Withdraw now!
Or we don't beat that.
Ever enduring!
I guess there's too few units there.
Death from above!
Clear and resolute.
Blades! Spearmen! Blades!
They're gonna break.
Spearmen! Put their eyes out! By your request! As required!
Direct shot in the face.
Aim and fire!
The gods are watching.
Take their heads!
Yeah, we'll win
Charge
this.
them! Marduk has abandoned us!
Okay.
On we go! We will not fail! Slingers attack!
Alright, we got the win.
Spearmen!
They are all routed.
Ever enduring!
Oh, except for their general. Shaken, but not
Honor the gods!
stirred.
How could it end
Not
like
destroyed yet.
this? Rend their flesh! No hesitation!
General has died, just not surrendered yet.
Arrows of the east!
I don't know if I can send anyone to help them.
Fight with pride!
They're too far. Might as well go chase that. They might as well go
For
chase that.
success. Blades! Honor the gods! Send the volley! Spearmen!
It's not really any formation we can do. Unless we move the archer behind and like direct shot into their back, which I think would be like a play.
I was born for this!
This guy's bugged. Got stuck on a tree. Oh, he's hiding really, really well. Where the slinger actually can't kill it.
Volley!
Then you go here.
Chariots into place! Arrows knocked! As the gods will! Archers, fire!
I'm guessing if we're directly shooting like this, also be less friendly fire.
Let's fly!
Still plenty of friendly fire, it seems. It's okay. Got the win.
Time to move!
Two starting enemy armies, definitely not an easy situation. I'm guessing we can expect floods of Arcadian units.
A flawless martial performance. Always look at the big picture.
Oh, I probably don't want him to retreat back,
A
though.
journey is needed. Perish, you fool.
What's the delegate? No one's gonna die, right? Okay, looks like we're gonna be fine.
Bask in our shared triumph, men. I get things done. They call me King of Babylon, and that is who I am.
3 turns for this. $11 from unit, 10 from diplomacy. Who are we paying? $10 gold for 100 food for 5 turns with Assyria. 40 wood for 100 food. So I guess we start with a few bartering deals. We still would like to finish that construction. All building types. I don't think outposts are included, are they? In that case, should I wait? Because it's not going to get ready for me to use next turn anyways. It's 3 turns for all of these.
My time is now.
We'll just make our way back. Ooh, 2 level up, which is great. Means I can switch to this and get more replenishment.
Prepare to march.
We're not going to be fighting, and you get to heal on march anyways. Being patient here. Let's see the building chains real quick. See if we want to make any changes with that. This is the regional troop recruitment chain. Let's see if there's any good regional troops. We just did that, and also familiarize ourselves with the foes. Oh, we can get horsemen. Light cavalry unit. What's their speed? 120? I guess infantry can get up to like 60 if they're lightly armored-ish, but 120 still sounds really fast. Axe unit with 12% lethality. Warrior. Final top tier unit is a armored archer. 10% lethality. Storm warriors. Good in... Wait, storm warriors? So less penalty from storms. Direct shot 30%. Range drops to 85. Seems like the go behind flanking shooting is going to be a real thing here. Ammo, and there's no fire arrows, it seems. Okay. This is our Solalu's unit recruitment. This is our chariot recruitment. Not sure about chariots anymore after the lethality change. I mean, we probably have to really baby micro them to not get them into those situations, but I don't know if that's worth it. Seems like this is going to be our elite infantry line, Babylonian Royal Guard, a spear unit with some range. I'm guessing these are javelins, or they're throwing something. Armor piercing, 25 armor piercing, 17 base, bonus against large. Only 15%, I was expecting more, but I guess still pretty good. 5% base lethality on their... Maybe I'm valuing lethality a little bit too much. They can get 100% range block chance from the front, which is definitely good. Feels like we just have like a solid front line, have good range, and after engage we flank our range around just to shoot them, have some mobile units as well. We might actually end up recruiting a lot of these, so I'm not going to get rid of it. I think having like an axe unit as your tier 1, well, axe units in general are pretty good in the game. 5%. Maybe not so good. Maybe it's better if we get our own type. Melee attack defense is so bad on these, though. We have to get a Taskmaster in there. Maybe Slinger spam is the way to go. Oh, they are expendable. Plots, the boost buildings. Okay. Alright, kind of know what we can expect. We should...
Babylon endures.
We can't recruit in this stance. Right, we're going to be recruiting quite slowly. It's going to be a slow start. I actually do want to get rid of this. I'm going to build something else here instead. White Temple of Anu. Ah, the Great Ziggurat, or unique ones. Okay, the rest are all very similar. Probably want to build something here just so that we can move faster with all these movements. We'll end turn, I think. Outpost construction. Yeah, all the ones that are left are construction related. We did gain some items.
Prince of Ur and Protector of Nippur.
Not right click, but here. Charge defense against large, melee defense, melee damage, melee defense. Yeah, that's probably better. Heavy shield, damage resistance against... Also just straight up better. No other items, basically all weaponry. We're not going to have a second general for a while. Lots of factions. Alrighty, so we are going to end our episode here. I know, very short, one-turn episode, but a lot of things to absorb. Still going to take a look at everything, maybe in between episodes, so I can learn the faction a little bit better and have a plan of what we want to do. I don't know if we can start this war to complete our second province. Might be best if we finish our first war first, whether we can beat them down and get a favorable peace deal, or we can just conquer them, because this looks like a pretty juicy food province. We need to diversify, but I guess we are sort of in the fertile valley between the two rivers, so food is probably the predominant resource that we're going to see. There's some splashes of stone. There's a stone there. I don't see any wood, but the ports will give wood, which is nice, so we don't really need a wood settlement. We probably don't need bronze until we go higher tier unit. And then there's a source of gold that's just kind of looking at us right here. Seems to be a 2 county faction maybe. Oh, they also have bronze. So this is also a target that we might be interested in down the line. Gonna get the first army kind of fully built, probably end up going negative income. It's gonna be a slow build up though, because we lost the recruitment slot for construction. Once we get our construction, you know, kind of finished, we can change that commandment so that we can recruit a little bit faster. And we'll just see how we want to approach things. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and come back next time, and we'll see you guys then. Bye!